15, 14, 6, 15, 6, and 0. That's how many minutes Diana Taurasi played in the Olympics. Yes, that few. And she was the main reason Caitlin Clark couldn't be there. Insane, right? I mean, can you believe it? Diana Taurasi, a women's basketball icon, was benched after scoring only 3 points in the game against Nigeria. In total, she scored only 5 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists over 56 minutes across 6 games. And to make it even worse, she has to play against Caitlin Clark this weekend in her first game back from the Olympics. Taurasi is absolutely furious about what happened in the last weeks due to her lack of game time, the constant narrative of Caitlin Clark taking her place. You might be wondering what happened to one of the best players of all time. Get ready, because this story is about to get crazy. The debate surrounding Diana Taurasi's selection to Team USA will amaze you. Fans are outraged about it, and for good reason. Let me clarify, and let's not start about the upcoming game between Caitlin Clark and Diana Taurasi this weekend. Taurasi was chosen as a legacy option, which means her selection was mostly based on her reputation and previous accomplishments. Sounds reasonable, right? But not so fast. The greater the praise, the more difficult the fall. Whatever happens, you must maintain your composure. Despite her illustrious career, Taurasi wasn't performing at the level we expect from a legend. Fans have noticed that her performance has significantly dropped. To put it bluntly, Diana Taurasi shouldn't have made the team for real. Fans said, things have only worsened. One fan said, they can't say they chose the team for purely basketball reasons and then pick Taurasi, who is clearly not a top 12 player anymore. It is difficult to disagree with that logic. The frustration is rising. How did Team USA overlook young potential in favor of a fading star? One fan put it perfectly. Diana Taurasi does not belong on the court right now. Imagine you're a young, skilled player watching Taurasi struggle on the floor from the sidelines. The pain must be serious. Fans are experiencing the same anguish. It's clear how dissatisfied they were during the Olympics. However, this narrative is about more than Taurasi's individual achievement. It is about the future of women's basketball. It's about the conflict between preserving the old and welcoming fresh talent. Are we willing to let go of the past in order to construct a better future? While Taurasi struggled, another player was making ripples that no one expected. This emerging star is not only skilled, she is transforming the face of women's basketball. She's redefining what is possible, and her rejection from Team USA is causing many to reconsider how these teams are chosen. This star, Caitlin Clark. She is not just skilled, but she is also shattering records and changing the game. Have you seen Clark's last WNBA game? She set a new record for assists with 19 in one game. Everyone is talking about it. This was more than simply an excellent performance. It was a message. Clark is not simply playing the game, she is altering it. Fans instantly took note. How much impact can one player make? A significant difference. Some feel Clark's attendance would have doubled if she had been on the Olympic team. Could you imagine that? Twice as many people attended, contributing to the explosive environment that makes basketball so exciting. And let's not forget the fact that she would have played near full games and actually helped the team out. I mean, winning the Olympics 67-66 without overtime due to the French player being ahead of the three line. That's a lucky gold if you ask me. But if you're not yet on board of the Caitlin Clark train, you might be asking if Clark is actually that big of a problem. The answer is an emphatic yes. She's not only winning games, she's making statements. Her win over Cheryl Reeve's team was more than simply a victory, it was an announcement. Clark demonstrated that she is the future of women's basketball, and to this day, people are still suggesting Reeve has a grudge against Caitlin Clark for it. Let's speak about her abilities for a bit. How about the 19-assist game? It's more than just a statistic. It demonstrates Clark's court vision, game reading skills, and ability to generate opportunities for her teammates. She is raising everyone around her, including herself. That is the sign of a genuinely great athlete, and fans are noticing. They're not just amazed, but inspired. One fan summed it up perfectly. I love Diana Taurasi, but her time has passed. Caitlin would have been a great asset. It is not about decreasing the game's legends. Rather, it is about recognizing when new blood, energy, and stars are required. And now everyone is asking the same question. Why wasn't she not on the Olympic team? And it's not just the fans that are critical. Coaches, retired players, and basketball commentators are all scratching their heads. Watching Clark play, it's evident that she's not only prepared for the world stage, but also has the potential to dominate it. This isn't only about basketball. The controversy surrounding Clark's Olympic rejection and rise to stardom has drawn attention to women's sports in general. It is starting discussions about how we construct teams, respect athletes, and advance the sport. The Taurasi-Clark affair is more than simply a story about two players. It is a metaphor for a greater battle occurring in sports today. On the one hand, there is tradition, as represented by players such as Taurasi, who have helped mold the game over the years. On the other hand, there is innovation, as seen by up-and-coming players such as Clark, who are pushing the limits of what is possible on the court. Think about it. Taurasi embodies everything that has made basketball great in the past. She has dominated the game for years and is considered a living legend. What about Clark? The future is hers. She's coming to the court with new energy, new skills, and an entirely different style of play. This old versus new clash is not limited to women's basketball. It occurs in many sports. And this weekend, the saga will once again continue. Taurasi has to play against Clark, the player she said would face reality in the W and wouldn't score against professionals as much as she did against 18-year-olds. But Taurasi was wrong. Clark is still providing dime after dime and sinking threes as if she's playing on autopilot. Maybe Taurasi has to take in the fact that the new kid is on the block. This shift might have an impact on how the sport is marketed. New stars bring unique tales to tell and new characters for fans to engage with. It has the potential to attract a completely new audience. People who were previously uninterested in basketball but are now enthralled by these new faces and exciting playing styles. However, change is not always simple. There is always resistance. There are always individuals who are content with the status quo and want things to remain the same. We cannot ignore the efforts of players like Taurasi. They created the game we adore. They paved the path for players such as Clark. But time has come. So how do we move forward? How can we embrace the future while appreciating the past? That is the dilemma facing women's basketball today, and the challenge is larger than any single individual or squad. It's not all about Diana Taurasi and Caitlin Clark. It concerns the future of women's basketball. It is about whether we are willing to let go of the past in order to embrace a brighter future. Now let's speak about the media, which is the true game changer in all of this. While it may appear that the action occurs solely on the court, what happens off the court might be equally crucial. The media's portrayal of players like Taurasi and Clark can have an impact on their careers in ways you may be unaware of. Think about it. When Taurasi was at the peak of her success, the media had a significant part in shaping her image. They praised her outstanding performances, clutch plays, and leadership. However, the story is evolving. Suddenly, the reports focus on her deterioration, problems, and time on the bench. The narrative is entirely new, but the player remains the same. Now look at Clark. The media portrays her as the future star of women's basketball. They are discussing her intensity on the court, record-breaking assists, and game-changing ability. She is being portrayed as the next big thing in every feature article, statistic, and highlight. But this is when things become very fascinating. Social media has dramatically transformed the game. It's not just about what the major sports networks say anymore. Now any fan with a smartphone can join the debate, and they aren't holding back. You've probably seen it for yourself. Every game is debated on X, supporters post highlights on Instagram, and individuals debate team picks on Reddit. It's like an endless basketball discussion that never ends. What is the best part? Players are also involved. They create their own brands, interact with followers, and tell their own tales. This is transforming not only the way we talk about sports, but also what it means to be renowned in sports. Clark has the potential to build a large following before she even goes onto a professional court. She can communicate directly with followers, share her story, and create her own narrative. It's an entirely new universe. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Social media may be a two-edged sword. It has the potential to both build and break someone down. One terrible game, one controversial statement, and the narrative may change overnight. These athletes are under great strain. So, what is your position in all of this? The debate about Taurasi's inclusion on the Olympic squad is part of a bigger issue regarding sports heritage and present performance. And now she has to face the one player she wouldn't want to face directly after such a disappointing run at the Olympics. Will Clark show us once and for all that she should have been there after all? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.